Yo, hello to anyone that is watching my stream. Um, the purpose of this stream is I am filling out a Google Doc thing of the different things, different phenomenon, UAP, etc., that I have witnessed as of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. Um, just because I want to have a record of it, and I figure as I am filling it out, I can talk about the different events and whatnot, and then also me talking about them will hopefully jog my memory because I haven't kept very good records up until now, but I figure that it will be useful for me to do so. If anyone, well, when you guys join the stream, if you would be so kind to let me know how my audio is. I'm in a new setup, and as such, I'm still testing sound and other things. But yeah, just let me know. Yeah, so yeah, also let me know if the typing is loud. My mic is down to the left of me, so hopefully it's not picking up the typing. Yeah, so the um, first thing that I witnessed would have been, well, it was on October 26th. It was a place called Wind Whistle. Uh, New Zealand. All of my things up until now have been in New Zealand because that's where I live. It's a bit bigger. And it was a really basic event. It was just a flash in the sky. Since then, though, I have seen quite a few different things that will just do a single flash, and usually you don't see anything beforehand. It's not like you can see something moving about, but it's just like a flash. So it's kind of um, like a like a camera flashing. Um, since then, whenever I've seen things like something that will just flash in the sky, it is always accompanied by heaps of other stuff. But on the first night that I saw things, 26th, the first night that I saw stuff, this was the only thing that I saw. But it was enough for me to go, okay, yeah, there is stuff out there. Yeah, so with some of the driven phenomenon, they only show up in certain areas from what I can tell. But yeah, that'll make sense when I talk about or enter in details of ones that are from other locations. I mean, there's things that only show up um, on the ocean, etc. But of course, things that are in the sky, you can see them well anywhere that there's a light of the sky. Cool. Next thing would have been the the should finish off the flash in the sky. Come on, flash. with the location of of the first flash was out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, if I had been like in a city and seen something flash, well, then I would have maybe thought like a drone or something. But this place, Windwhistle, is in the middle of nowhere, so it's very unlikely that there could have been anyone else around. How do you get it so that these things wrap? Who knows? Oh, I can still do stuff. The single flash thing happened on a full moon night. I would imagine that if it hadn't been a full moon, there's a potential that I would have been able to see other things in the sky, but when there's a full moon, obviously you can't even see that many stars. So yeah, as to whether or not there was anything else that was actually there, I don't know, just because the amount of visibility when there's a full moon is very limited. A lot of the fields that I fill in, such as mental state and whatnot, is going to be relatively similar from my experiences. These kinds of things only show up when you are in a relaxed state of mind. If you are feeling not at ease or yeah, then they just don't seem to show up. And if you're with people and they are in a weird mindset, or if they're like high or drunk, then stuff also doesn't show up. So yeah, cool. What is that? Cool. November 19th, where was that? Glenmorkie. Showing that next section. Yeah, pretty much the way I get all of these things to appear is me just saying, hey, do you want to come and say hello? And that is their response is generally just flashing. Obviously, I'm on the ground and they're way up in the sky, so I don't actually think they're listening to my words. But clearly they can hear some way. When I say it's 20 to 30 seconds of them flashing, it's not like they start flashing, they just go flash, 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 flash. It's more like when they do a first flash, I like thank them for saying hello, and then they will flash again. And then if I do anything else, they'll just flash in response to anything else that I say. I haven't tried asking them questions and then getting them to flash in response. If there's a match, it's not super necessary. The next one was also on November the 19th. This was about half an hour after the UFOs. Um, yeah, the second event on the 19th was, yeah, about 30 minutes after those 5 UFOs. The sun had started to come up, and so there was a little bit of light. I don't think the sun had actually risen over the horizon, but yeah, there was definitely a bit of light. And so that's one. I would have mentioned that the orbs can go higher than 30 meters up. Just the ones that I've seen have been sort of within that kind of height. Um, what was this one? Harry Potter? Apprentice? That's called because that is exactly what they look like. The spell that they use in Harry Potter movies to light a room. That whoop that goes around. Uh, really nice. What's not Apprentice? I'm clearly not a Potterhead or whatever they're called. I would imagine that the orbs probably can show up anywhere. The ones that fly around. But so far I've only seen them in outdoor areas, in places that are quite natural. Um, so yeah, um, yeah, places that people don't live generally. Yeah, so yeah, just wandering around the riverbed. I have like a found, in fact, it happened on the 18th of November. I just found that I can kind of sense, I guess, electromagnetic energy. Um, don't exactly understand it. I guess kind of like similar to how people can hear like buzzing in their ears if they've got like power sockets turned on. It's like that kind of thing, except for it, I can like it like feels like it's a pulling sensation, and that's what the kind of feeling I had when I was wandering around the riverbed, and then eventually that sensation led me to in front of these trees. Um, News. Yo, Chuck, how's it going? I don't know if you in fact, you wouldn't have caught it from the beginning. But I'm just filling out a data sheet thing of the different things that I've witnessed to see if I can see patterns and whatnot, and also just to keep a record of it because I know without a doubt that as things move, yeah, that's a good question. Which bird? And obviously birds move at different speeds depending on what they're doing, but more like I mean, the movement of it was something that, yeah, the movement of it was the kind of movement speed, like something that you would expect movement speed, not like the insane movement speeds that have been described by um, military people, where they say that they've seen things that go at like 20,000 miles an hour. Oh, on the note of our last time we chatted, Chuck. So, um, in that stream that I did, right? Um, the one where you were last on it, I had a look at the playback the next day, and for whatever reason, so when I was live streaming it on my phone, um, when I zoomed in on the craft, it still was like perfectly clear on my phone. But then I checked the playback, um, so obviously what you were seeing, and the quality completely disappears. In fact, can I? Oh shit! Oh, good. That's saved. Hold up. Can I? I'm just going to change my my share percent. Stop screen share percent. Screen share. YouTube share. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Where the heck is my stuff? Here. No. Your channel. There we go. So it's going to mute it because the sound was awful. So I'm on Google Docs, and so automatically saves, which is fucking lucky because otherwise I would have just lost all the stuff that I'd put in. Anyway, so this is obviously what you would have been seeing. For me, like the quality level at the beginning here, obviously because I was directly on my phone, it was higher quality than this here. But if you watch it at the 8-second mark, I'm just going to keep my finger on this here so you can see where the seconds are at. But as soon as I hit the 8-second mark, which is as soon as I zoom in, the quality goes absolutely tits up. And it's not just on the actual recording, like of the camera side of it, but it's everything, including like the icons down the bottom and the top, which if it was just the recording feed, like that doesn't make sense. So it's almost like it's like whatever I was recording itself, like blips the feed, and then once I zoom out, like a little bit afterwards, it's the quality comes back again. It comes back at the point where it's finished going overhead, and I'm looking at it from behind, like here. Like I can zoom on it now, but it's no longer directly overhead. It's now to the left. Yeah, which so yeah, your reaction of saying that's just a plane and whatnot. Once I looked at the playback, yeah, fair enough. It looked like absolute dog shit quality. Yeah, which is weird, except for it's not actually the weirdest thing I've had with recording one of these things. But the other video I have, it's almost pointless me showing it because what happened with the other video is I was recording it, and this was the first time I tried to record one of these things. And then out loud, I said, "Oh, do you want to come closer?" And as soon as I did, it disappeared from my camera feed. However, I could see it still with my own eyes. Like the lights didn't change at all as far as my eyes could see, but on my camera, it completely disappeared. And the only thing I can think of is that when you've got like an LED that flashes, if it's flashing out of frame rate with the camera that's recording, then I guess it would disappear to a camera. And because our eyes don't operate on frame rates like cameras do, or not in the same level, it makes sense that I could still see it even though my camera couldn't pick it up at all. Of course, though, the video kind of looks like nothing because you're just seeing a light, and then you're not seeing a light, and I like I've got no way to prove anything one way or the other because I could have very easily just turned the camera a different direction. It's not like I've got a 360-degree camera that you can see that I haven't moved out of frame. So yeah, the whole high strangeness thing that people talk about, where like the ball is in their court to do whatever the fuck they want, seems to be accurate, and it's kind of a little bit frustrating but interesting at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try and get some more videos of them. I mean, based on the fact that it disappeared on that first video with me talking to it, and then this video, the live stream that you saw, that was like 2 hours after that, and so clearly it was happy for me to have some level of recording of it, but just not happy for me to record it like when it was directly above me. But yeah, I mean, this quality is awful. Even if like that there has a kind of triangular shape, I mean, it's just a blob of light. It doesn't really look like anything. On the phone, what I was seeing is, based on where my cursor is like one light there, one light there, and one light there. But with the quality being so crap with the feed that went online, yeah, it doesn't really look like much at all. Must be a way to just switch screens rather than just stop and then go back. Oh well, let's just do that there. How long have you had your channel running for? So I did from there. Motion. Also, the issue was that you were using a phone, but what I've just found interesting is that you said moving directly above you, which means a flame would turn, and then therefore two sides would merge into one. So I'm just trying to think what you mean by that. 4 years, 4 months. Oh, I missed you on the 4 years, 4 months, and 4 days. Like, so with it being directly above me, the lights were Need to change my screen share again. Hold up one moment. So that present share screen. Point. Wow, new paint is weird. What on earth is going on here? Actually, you know what? Like, it's probably best. Like, above me. Like, it was not directly above me, it was slightly out above the ocean. But maybe, I don't know, like 20 or 30 meters out. And so, yeah. Oh, goodness, new paint is really weird. And so, I mean, the lights were, oh, I'm not good with paint. Like that there. I've seen it above my car, and the actual shape of it isn't a proper triangle. It's is there a line tool on new paint? Okay. Shape from what I've seen is more like this. And back to normal brush. And there's a flashing light at each of the, sorry, solid white light at these points. And where I've put the yellow thing is a flashing light. Yeah, that's the shape from what I can tell. When I saw it above me, though, like above, so I was driving along at Leafwood Beach, and it flew directly above. Whereas I'm going to change the presentation again. Yeah. No, it wasn't a few kilometers, because that's the thing, is you're assuming it's a plane, and so it would make sense to you that it's a few kilometers. It wasn't a few kilometers. It was directly out. I get, like, if you're looking at it from the perspective of that's just a plane, then what you're saying makes sense, except for it wasn't just a plane. Of course, though, I can't prove that to you unless I get a good picture or video, should I say. Although pictures don't really mean anything these days with AI. Where are we looking? Where am I? Wait, wrong location. It's others. Application. Oh, I need to be here. Whoa. Yeah, so when I saw it above me, I was about right here because I was going to be turning left to go down there, and instead it flew over, like, directly above me, like it was right there. And then it was after that that I drove down here, went down to the beach, ran down the beach, and started the live stream that you saw. Yeah, I get that they look white from a distance, but once again, I've seen it up close. The first time I saw this thing. It was at the Pines Beach in Kaipoi. And me and a mate walked down to the beach, and we got to like just like this point right here, and we could see it out here over the water, like 10 meters out, and it was hovering over a white orb that was on the ocean, and then it flew off, and then it like hovered over the trees here, and then just went straight down and disappeared like into the trees or something. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck it would have landed in here because that's just trees. But then yeah, we walked over to where the orb was, and it was moving back and forth and whatnot, and it was just out there, like I don't know, 10-20 meters out on the ocean. But yeah, once again, I don't have any footage of them, just because as you said, phone camera is just not super ideal for recording. That said, though, like any recording that I want to do them as live streams, because like if you just have a video that you've recorded and then you upload it, I mean, it means kind of fuck all, because videos can be so easily edited and faked these days, whereas it's a lot harder to fake something as a live stream, especially when you're interacting with the chat. So my methodology that I'm going to be using is just only doing stuff based on live stream, because like I've seen so many videos of things that are possibly real, but you just don't really know when it's a video that they've uploaded, because it just looks like a little dot or something moving about, and you've got no real way to tell whether or not they've messed about with it. Yes, I get that. Like, I understand how planes work. Once again, as I've said, it's not a plane. Like, I understand your logic, right? But like, let's say you have gone to Africa and you've seen an elephant, and I don't believe the elephants exist, and you're trying to describe to me an elephant, and I could give you all of the reasons why you've probably actually seen a dog, and you just, I don't know, thought that you were far, like because the dog was far away, it was, you got confused over this thing that you're claiming is an elephant, whereas I'm saying that elephants don't exist. So yeah, I mean, I could give so many reasons why what you saw was actually a dog and not an elephant. But until I've seen an elephant, I would just go with that. So yeah, but once again, I can't prove it until, well, to be fair, even with live streams, I don't really know how much proof is going to be in that. I feel like it's really up to individuals seeing things themselves, and that's the only real kind of proof. I mean, even for some people, that really isn't enough, because then there's the assumption of like a government psyop, which, I mean, if it is a government psyop, which maybe it is, to me that's equally interesting and bizarre as to what a government psyop would be doing in Leafield or the beaches of North Canterbury. That, I mean, governments could be doing all sorts of things that we've got no clue about. Yes, but are you sure it had a trunk? Because we're actually that close. Things can look way bigger when you think that they're further away, but they're not actually as far away. And maybe you just saw it from the wrong angle and you're actually seeing its tail. I know how ridiculous that sounds. Me saying that maybe you mistook the tail of a dog for a trunk. But like that's kind of where I'm coming from when people go, oh no, it's just a plane because of X, Y, Z. And it's like, yeah, I get why you would say that because this here seems ridiculous. If you'd have asked me a year ago, I would have said it's ridiculous as well. Um, but now having seen these things up close, it has become a hell of a lot less ridiculous for me. But obviously that doesn't change anything for other people. Yeah. Did I mention the government? Oh yeah, I was just saying. I don't know how much you missed. Can't even remember how I got to the topic of the government. Um, oh, I was saying that people seeing stuff with their own eyes. For some people, that isn't even enough proof because then 10 seconds. Okay, let me know when you're back, and I'll continue. They back. Welcome back. Um, yeah, what I was saying is um that like the best I can do for like a wide 1 more minute. That's all right. You get your preps done, and I will still be here. Got you, call it. Yeah. So what I was saying is that me doing live streams and stuff, even if I manage to get good footage on a live stream, um, that's not enough evidence for a lot of people. And so, like, the best evidence would be people seeing it themselves in person. But even for some people, that's still not enough evidence because then there is the assumption of like government psyops or other things. I mean, to be fair, like other things is unexplained phenomena. Like I don't claim to know what it is that I'm seeing. I just know that it's well for the UFO like things, they're not planes, and for the orb-like things, they're not like atmospheric like anomalies. That is to what they actually are. I don't know. So yeah, that's it though. If it is government psyop stuff going on, well, to me that's equally interesting and for me worthwhile checking out. That's it though. If it is a government psyop, based on the amount of things that I've seen in the last 2 weeks, like the government has their fucking fingers in everything everywhere. Well, not in everything everywhere, but they have all sorts of weird shit that they do everywhere. That as to what their purpose is, I mean, for the government, I would have fucking no clue as to what their purpose would be of doing half the shit that I've seen, as to what the purpose would be for the UFOs, the UAP, the orbs and whatnot. I also have no clue, but it doesn't seem to be stuff that makes sense for what we do in our day-to-day lives. Give me one moment, it's getting hot in this room. Sweet. Just turned off a heater. There's like a, oh no, that's not what I wanted. I guess this thing just auto saves and doesn't actually have a save function. And that doesn't appear to. Yeah, I agree. I agree, absolutely. Like, yeah. See, I don't think the government is doing any of this stuff at all. And so, but I have had a few people go like, "How do you know it's not the government?" And it's like, okay, for like the stuff that I've had show up has just been based on me going, I feel like I should just go down to this beach, and then just because that thought comes to me, I just follow that thought rather than me deciding to do something else. And then I get to the beach, and then there's shit there. So if it is the government, then they're sitting there like putting thoughts in my head that I'm then going down to the beach and then seeing these things or something like that. I don't quite know. So as to why the government would be doing it, like I had one person go, maybe like the government's like giving you these suggestions and whatnot so that you can go and I was like, what, like go and reveal their secrets? Because it doesn't really seem like that's something that the government would want someone to do. Like it made more sense for the government to put thoughts in my head of do not go down there. We're doing stuff. Yeah, exactly. I I feel like the idea that there's like big big secret mass manipulation things going on and whatnot is kind of a bit ridiculous. I think that the like the reason that they wouldn't reveal what they know is because they don't know bugger all about the stuff like the phenomenon stuff that people are trying to work out what's going on. And the idea of the government not knowing what's going on is like worse as far as the government's concerned than them being manipulative. So they'd rather that people think there's nothing going on and let me up. I'm sick of typing. What do you mean? I'll let you in to the stream. Sorry, let me just stop the screen share. Cool. If you're happy to be on my live stream, then I will send you the link one moment. I'm just going to stick it in the chat because I don't really mind who jumps in. Where the heck? Oh, invite. Here's the link, but I'm just going to quickly go to the bathroom, so I'll be back in a minute. Hello.
G'day, my friend. Oh,
How are you? Oh. Um.
right.
That'll be an echo from
Sorry.
me.
G'day.
Also.
Sorry, I was just doing a little bit of research there. So, g'day. Hello. Mate, I love. I honestly, I do love your theories and your questions and your queries, and some of them are actually quite right. What I was talking about the lights was if you see a single light above your head, or if you see two lights and then it goes to a single light. I'm just thinking of a plane that, turns, and if it's above your head, you're just seeing a single light. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying about that one.
So on that night, when like you gave the two different flight numbers, I mean there were no flights in the area at all. Like the two flights you gave, one of them went 100, like I don't know,
That is
100
correct.
kilometers
That is
north of
correct.
Auckland, and then the other one went from Auckland to Honolulu, which is a north direction, so it doesn't come anywhere near
Uh,
Leafield.
yep. Anyway, nowhere near us. Yep, you're absolutely
Yeah.
100% right. But
I do know that there are flights that do not appear on the fly radar.
good.
But
Yeah. So
but yeah, once again,
you have
right.
your local flights. You have, and admittedly, and I will give you this. So if there was a local flight of a plane that took off from our location heading north, it would go out and come back in. Um, but also they should technically register on the not necessarily rate flight with flight radar, but they should register with somebody. So we should know that there is a plane. So maybe we need to dig deeper into local flights.
Do
I
you know
think
if
we
there's
call them
any other fly radar
region,
apps
regional
other than,
flights. I think regional flights is
because yeah, I mean that's the thing is I would rather discount every possibility rather than just like jumping on
and
a
and also you have helicopters as well. Don't forget helicopters. They have
helicopters are also meant to be registered.
they are they are, but
When me and my mates saw the thing down at the beach, which would have been on the fourth, it was on the fourth. That thing was was like 20-30 meters away. Um, we both initially thought helicopter, and then for the fact that there was no noise coming from it was what then made us go maybe not a helicopter. Um, but yeah, I mean the light pattern on it initially looked like a helicopter.
well, no, yeah, no. To be fair, a helicopter is a completely different beast. In fact, that the body is a lot shorter. It's only about 10 to 12 meters wide, and yes, it should have a rotor tail. So if it had a front light and a rotor tail light and it turned, then yes, it would become one light. But what I want to get back to is a comment that you made up there about. Um, let me just scroll back up a little bit. So you made, and I do struggle with this thing. I really, 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 really do struggle with this. That you say that the government, this is happening um, out there, and the government is hiding. Now, I've just done a very quick research, and not just Wikipedia, but I've gone into a lot of depth research. Um, so we're talking about governments, okay? So obviously the largest government, let me get back up there, the largest government in the world, if we're talking about sort of not necessarily the word government, but the largest country is China, India, United States, Pakistan, Indonesia, Brazil. Then you go to Russia and all that, and then you come down to Germany, Iran, and Thailand, and all that. Now, with my hometown, United Kingdom, being the 22nd largest democracy, I have to scroll right down to, now bearing in mind there are is it 212 or 232 countries in the entire world? I think it's 212. No, I think it's 232. But I have to beg the question, Ben, when you talk about governments and that's changed. That's changed in the last 30 seconds.
What has?
Sorry, I was just.
I've just found someone's posted a video of another triangle thing. This here doesn't look quite the same, but this is very similar to what the lights look like. So I can show you that.
Right.
Even if it's not completely the same.
All I was going to say is that when you talk about governments hiding stuff, and I have a very, very tough.
Oh, so yeah, I'll play, and it moves
Play.
it like the movements that this is making is nothing like the movements of the thing that I was looking at. But when you see all three like individually, that's what it looked like. I'll go back because that's like the
That's interesting.
highlight point of the video. Yeah. I do wonder whether or not if I hadn't been live streaming, if the quality wouldn't have like dropped down like that. But yeah, I mean the footage that they have out there is
Oh, okay, New York City. Okay, I could potentially explain that away, but I just want to finish my last comment is about governments. Now, we are quite literally, I've just found it again, with the 123rd largest government in the entire world. So on a scale of 1 to 212, you know, we're there. So why would we hide stuff? And on the back of that comment, why, with a population of 5.1, 5.2, how would we have the energy and the finances and the need to hide this sort of stuff?
well, so as to the need, I do not know. Finances.
It would cost more to hide it than tell the truth.
See, well, that's the thing, right? Is that it doesn't require anyone in this country to do anything. Like like the biggest factor for having people not talk about it and whatnot is the stigma that's around it. And that stigma has been well established, so it doesn't really require much upkeep because the people do it themselves. The government doesn't really have to do anything. As to why they hide it, my assumption is that back in the day, back in after World War II, when people started reporting these things more, the governments had no idea what was going on, and they were just entering into the Cold War, and they didn't know if it was enemy tech. And so my thought is that their viewpoint was, well, we don't want to scare the people by saying, yeah, the Russians have got these things, so we'll just say that there's nothing there, nothing to see. And then it's just kind of like a secrecy thing that started, and it's kind of like, how do you end it now? Which is why I think that they are doing the slow push for disclosure in the United States Congress, is because they want to reveal it, but they want to reveal the fact that they have kept up the secrecy, but they don't want to look like liars, and so they're doing that the slow push thing where every year a little bit more legislation gets through, but not the full shebang, because it warms people up to the idea rather than it just all being lumped on them in one go. So
Okay.
like, I don't think it's a thing where they want to keep it hidden. I think it's a thing where because it was hidden initially, and once the secret gets once the secret is in play, and this is like in every area of
Okay.
life, it's easier. Well, it feels easier to just keep up the secret. I mean, it's like the same as if someone's like cheated on their partner. It's probably better for them to say it
I,
right away. But if you've held off on it for a couple of months, then it feels like the best option is to continue holding on to that secret, even if it's 20, 30 years. But I feel like when you hear stories
I
like
was just about to say that. So uh, you've had an affair with your partner for a couple of years or 2, 3 years, but now you're talking about having an affair with the world for the last 60 years. And
about 80
now
years
you
later.
think if we just, sneak it in a little bit here, a little bit there, the last 60 years, yeah, no one will ever remember.
Well,
I,
actually, literally, that is what they're doing, because they
I,
like the big thing that they're saying is like, yeah, we know about these things like in 2014 or whenever it was that they first got the Nimitz video. Like that's kind of the push that they're saying like, oh, yeah, this Nimitz video, this is like the first thing we know about this here, and they're kind of like sweeping history under the rug. So if we go back to the cheating analogy, it's like they've been cheating the entire time, and then they go, okay, yeah, I cheated on you. It was just last week, and trying to ignore the fact that actually they were cheating for the previous 3 years as well, because the idea that they only cheated once and it was just recently, once again, is a bit more palatable.
all right. Let me give you another analogy, if I may.
You may.
So, a bloke or a woman, for that matter, obviously, cheats on a partner, and there is repeated
Infidelity.
repeated evidence. Then eventually, shouldn't, and I think what you're referring to is the woman being the entire country and the male being the evidence, or vice versa. Shouldn't the entire world therefore go, ha ha, ha ha?
Mm-hmm. And more people are doing that.
But
That's
but
that's the thing. Is the
but
number of
what
people
I'm
that are
talking
doing
about
it.
in entire. So when we talk about an affair, and I'm not gonna shit you. I had an affair, but my actually it was my partner. I wasn't married at the time, so my partner found out about the affair, and she went, "Ha ha!" So that's one person, and she had the evidence. She had the direct evidence. In fact, there wasn't no direct evidence. I just confessed. But you're asking for 8.2 billion people to look at a little bit of evidence which isn't, and I think you kind of agree with me, and we talked about this on the last stream. It's not that conclusive. I confessed that's conclusive. What we're looking at isn't that conclusive. There is no
But that's it.
real
Well, here's the thing, right?
complete evidence.
Let's
So
say,
how do you hang? So hang on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
yeah,
So how do you expect 8.2 billion people, and that's a lot of people, don't forget, not just one man and one woman. So we're talking about one man that made a mistake and one woman that found out. Cool. But now we're talking about dots in the sky, bits and bobs. I'm not disrespecting you, but not I'm not talking about you being one man, but we're talking about lots and lots of different people that look at dots in the skies and da da da, and you expect 8.2 billion people to go, oh shit, yeah, oh fuck,
No, I
yeah,
don't
right.
expect 8.2 billion people to go, oh shit, yeah. I don't expect that at all. I expect that most people will continue thinking that it's not a thing until they see it themselves. In the same way that if your partner had been told by 50 different people, I think he's cheating on you, until she gets the evidence herself, it would have meant nothing to her. You confessing is the only time that it means something. That's why I'm doing live streams as opposed to posting videos. And then if people want to meet up and actually go out and have a look at something, then I'm happy for that as well.
And I say to you that you and me are going to catch up down on the Canterbury coast. In fact, and didn't I tell you I bought a 2-man tent? I bought a 2-man tent, and I'm happy to camp out with you. I've got a fairly decent camera. It's not the best camera in the world, but I'm happy to rent a camera.
You did say that. Like, the only time I've properly chatted was on the previous live stream.
But I am happily.
I don't know if like camping out is like the best option. Just because the way that I have had things show up is not by like me planning something. It's spur of the moment. Because once again, like let's just suspend disbelief for a moment and assume that these things are real. So if these things are real and they're conscious, because like we would assume that something that's flying something is conscious, they have the ability to show up when and where they want to. So like you make like us making plans to go and see them seems to be not really the way it works.
So how would they know that two people in 8.2 billion people? So that's,
yeah. How much have you actually looked into the topic? Like done a deep dive rather than on the
0.000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000do not relevant to the topic. Like, how much have you actually looked into the topic? Because, like, it seems that the knowledge that you have is quite surface level on the topic. You've got a lot of knowledge on the debunking side of it, but not a lot of knowledge on what the criteria is and what seems to happen that makes these things appear. Because it's got nothing to do with the number of people that there are on the earth and like chance encounters. It's not chance at all. Okay, so make them appear. All right, Ben, with all due respect, I really like you. In fact, you and I at some point are going to definitely catch up with a beer at some point. Do you know how close the actual closest planet is to us?
Once again, that's not relevant. If you can,
no,
because you're assuming that they use conventional forms of travel. Like, see, all of the assumptions that you're making come from the point of view of not knowing much about the topic.
Okay.
With all due respect.
So, all right. Well, let's come back to Earth. Quite literally, let's come back to Earth. The closest planet to us. Well, yeah, the closest planet to Earth is well, if you go that way, that'll just kill you. So we're going to go that way towards Mars. We've put the rover on Mars, and the rover's just looking around, and it's going, yeah, it's actually pretty barren. Humans shouldn't come here. There's no atmosphere. There's no oxygen. There's no water. It's pretty barren. It's a little bit rocky. You know, don't come here. So that's the best that we've done. Now, Mars is mental block.
Once again, we're discussing that we've done. And
right, so this is our solar system.
Yeah, but
hang
the
on.
assumption that what we have the ability to do is relevant to the phenomenon is ridiculous. That's like saying like the best that an ape has done is used a hammer to crack a nut. So it makes no sense that humans could have spaceships that go to outer space and put satellites there. I mean, you're comparing two very different things. So once
Well,
again, like you're
you're also
comparing
using the word
apples to tree
humans.
houses.
You're also using the word homies. The word human comes from Homo sapiens, which is where we came from, which is not apes. It's a variant of an ape, which we share
I get that.
99%.
I'm not
Exactly.
comparing
But what I'm
us
saying,
to
so
tree hominid.
but
So
in
very
our
different.
solar system, okay, and you know how big the solar system is. This is our solar system. The only human form that we know in our solar system, which is excessively huge, and there are 300 billion different solar systems. The furthest we can get is to Mars. 5 billion, 5,
Okay, so yeah, the
5
numbers aren't
light
really
years.
important. So what's
No,
the
it
point
is
of it?
because how do you
No, it
think?
really isn't.
How do you think we? Okay, so the energy that we got to get to Mars was from the sun, and it
That's just still not
sent a
relevant to the
rover
topic.
and it landed successfully.
You're
Right.
discussing things from a human
From a
technology point of view,
scientist point of view
from a
or a
human understanding
Scientologist point
of
of view,
science.
science,
Like
yes,
no, yeah, science, but human understanding of science. Our understanding of science 100 years ago was significantly inferior to where we're at today. Thus,
absolutely,
then, it
100%,
is it is plausible
100%.
to assume that there is stuff far beyond our understanding of science and things that could allow us to travel faster than the speed of light. That does not break physics; it just breaks movement in the standard model that we are used to. But there is many theoretical
Right.
methods of moving to a location that is many, many light years away instantaneously.
All
Um,
right.
as to how to utilize that technology, we do not know. However, if you had asked someone 100 years ago about artificial intelligence, they would have thought you were fucking crazy because, I mean, it's just so
Absolutely.
far beyond the understanding of the time. But 100 years ago to now, like technology is just fucking insane as to how far it's gone. Like, and with the advent of AI, the amount of stuff that we're going to learn in the next couple of years is going to be incredible. So the idea that we've cracked it all and that this kind of technology doesn't exist and can't exist and won't exist is insane to me. It makes more sense to me that we're going to discover incredible things that would allow us to travel to other planets instantaneously. And then when we discover that ourselves, it would then become quite obvious that if there is other beings out there, they could do the exact same thing. I have a question for you. What do you get out of
Look,
debunking?
I I do not disagree with you that excuse me that in this universe 300 billion planets there is a planet out there that is in the Goldilocks zone that has the oxygen, the carbon dioxide, the trees, the grass. It probably has people out there, but they are so far away. You can't
Based on,
even you
but that's
can't even be,
based on our current
Ben, you
understanding of
can't
gravity.
even begin. Ben, listen to
Oh,
me.
yeah,
You can't even begin
respectfully, I
to
disagree. I think that
imagine how
you can't begin
far
to imagine.
away they are. They
But you can't
are
like hold up. I can imagine how far away they are.
they're
You can't imagine
so
travel outside
they
of the
can't get
conventional
to
travel
us.
that we have.
If the best
Based
we
upon
can
what?
do, if the
Based
best
upon
we
what?
can do, if the best we can do at the moment
Yeah,
is
but
send
hold
a
on. You are saying the best
machine
that we
to
can do.
Mars, which is
We hold on.
just over there.
Why would you
Then
assume? Okay, hold up. How long have we had modern human on Earth?
well,
Modern human.
modern life.
Like okay, no, modern human isn't like
Five,
go back however far, and you'd say, yeah, you've got pretty much the exact same features
five,
as we do.
5 billion, 5.3 billion, I think it is.
5.3 billion for modern human. Really? Do you want to fact check that?
Well, that's when life.
No, I'm
Not
not asking
billion.
life. I'm
Sorry,
asking
not
modern
billion.
human.
Not billion. Billion. Sorry, I apologize. Not billion. Roughly about 5.3 million years ago, I think.
The earliest fossil evidence of early modern humans appears in Africa around 300,000 years ago. 300,000.
No, that's
That is
bullshit.
based on our
That's
current
bullshit.
fossil evidence. Pardon?
Mm-mm.
So you're going to disagree with the actual science that we have. I mean, I feel like this conversation has kind of run its course because you seem it's kind of like chatting to someone who is into flat Earth. Like you won't look at
I
any of the
am
evidence
not
that
into
is
flat
presented.
Earth. Oh, fucking
Well,
trust me.
you
Well,
you like
flat Earthers,
the
flat
debate is
Earthers,
kind of similar. Like the
flat Earthers
you're
also believe
you
they like
you are
creation.
only
They
open
think
to
they
the
they
science
they
and the evidence that backs up your claims.
they think flat earthers and creationists are one and the same. They think that we only were created 6,000 years ago. No, the first, not human,
300,000 years
but
ago,
first live.
300,000 modern human, 300,000 years ago. That was the question I asked. When did modern humans appear? 300,000
Oh,
years. So if at
modern
300,
humans.
yeah,
Oh,
I know that.
absolutely.
I've repeated that
First
multiple
life
times.
form.
No, no,
First
no, I
life
didn't ask
form
first
was
life
about
form.
5
See,
million
here's the
years
thing,
ago.
right? Is this is what a conversation is like with a flat earther is like purposely ignoring the question to give an answer that's not relevant to the question, and then we get nowhere. So here's the thing, right? 300,000 years for a modern human, and see how far we've come in 300,000 years.
Yes,
The
a modern
universe,
human.
based on our current calculations, is over 13 billion years old. It could well be that a modern human equivalent appeared on another planet 7 billion years ago. There's no reason that couldn't be the case, which means that they could be 7 billion years more advanced than us. And so, as to what kind of technological capabilities they could have, see, here's the thing, right? Is you're basing everything based on our current understanding. Guess what flat earthers do? They base everything based on the understanding we had 500 years ago. Like, I
Yes.
don't know how you're not able to expand your horizons and imagine what technology we could have even a couple of hundred years down the track. Like, you seem very limited to what we have as of right now on Earth, which is a really basic way of looking at things because we're not discussing things from Earth. We're not discussing humans. We're discussing non-human intelligence. And so the debate really is just kind of a pointless endeavor from my point of view. I don't know what you're getting out of it because for me, I'm getting nothing out of it.
No, I'm not getting nothing. But you're asking about modern humans. Humans only
I'm not.
evolutionized, like you said, about 3. But life form, where humans actually come from, were about 5. I think I can't remember now whether it's 3 or 5 million years ago. That's when you know mammals or whatever they were started coming out of the water and started walking on the land. Now, people think that humans are evolved from apes or monkeys. They're not. It was an offshoot. Monkeys are an offshoot of humans. They're an offshoot of something else, offshoot of something else, offshoot of something else.
Uh-huh.
Millions of years ago.
Okay, so
It's
based
called
on our current
evolution.
understanding of fossil records, it seems that the first, what is it here, 385 million years ago would be the longest back where things
I was
started,
close. I said 330.
where things started coming onto land. So
Yeah.
385 million years ago,
All right, I was
universe
close. I
18
said
billion years old,
330.
universe 13 billion
Forgive,
years old.
forgive me for 500.
It doesn't it's not relevant. What is relevant is the fact that the time frame between now and when we first had things on land on Earth is still just a blip in comparison to the age of the universe. Our galaxy that
It
we live
is.
in is
So I'm
young
not
in
sure what your
comparison.
argument is.
My argument
It's
is that you are looking at things from the point of view of we must be the most advanced thing out there. Anything else couldn't be more
no,
advanced.
I never said we were the most.
Well,
Oh, no,
your
no, no, no,
assumption
no,
is that
no, no. We're the
your
most.
assumption.
We're the
Hold up.
most
Your assumption
advanced.
earlier on was
We're the
that if
most
there
advanced in
your
this
assumption
galaxy.
your assumption earlier on was that if there is life on another planet that is intelligent, there's no way they could get to us, which is insane. There's no way that I don't know how that logic
Yes, they can't.
works.
The,
Why? Why?
well, the distance.
Why
Well,
can't they?
okay. So if
Why can't they? Why can't they travel that distance?
because we were all created
No,
roughly around the
hold
same
it.
time.
Created. So you're a creationist as
Well,
well.
the planet was created.
How do
Well,
you
the solar system,
wait?
should I say? The solar system. Well, the
Okay.
universe. In fact, the
What about
universe was created
what about a
roughly
galaxy?
the
What about a
same time.
galaxy 500 million
The
light years away?
the universe was created at roughly the same time from
Okay.
the big. Okay,
Uh,
it all went, and then it just went. All right. So all the planets, all the galaxies were roughly created. Roughly, I'm talking, within couple of million years at the same time. They were all roughly created at the same time. So that means, and also the universe, don't forget, with all the galaxies, it got bigger and 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 spread.
And you're
Now,
assuming that life started forming on every planet at the same time.
our solar system, the Milky Way, is one of the farthest reaches, as we know, of the universe.
Okay, which means that
pretty
we're one
much
of
on
the
the
youngest.
outside.
Which means that we're one of the youngest, which is what I said. Which means that if there are other
No, we're one of
galaxies
the
out there,
eldest because it's
okay.
spread.
Oh, sorry.
It's spread.
Okay.
So we're one of the eldest. So
Okay.
if we on Earth, if we haven't developed the technology to go back into the universe, then I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but you've got to think, Ben, you've got to think of the distance. The best we've done at the moment.
I have to think of it. I have to think of the distance that we're using our
is gone
conventional
from
rockets.
here.
But I don't have to think of our conventional rockets because I clearly know a little bit more about physics because like we're not limited to our standard methods of moving about. Like that's just not a limitation that we're going to have to face forever. And it's not a limitation we're going to have to face for very long based on the people who are actually looking into this kind of stuff.
In physics, then, how far can you move forward till you can move sideways?
Doesn't make a difference.
How far can you move forward till you can move sideways?
It's not relevant. It's really not relevant. Like, see, here's the thing, right? Is once again, I'm debating someone who just discounts any evidence that goes contrary. I don't think you are a debunker. I don't think you're a skeptic. I think you're a critic. You're a critic.
Well, no, not a critic. No, I'm definitely a debunker. I'm definitely a debunker. I'm not a critic.
Okay, well, in that case, then I would highly recommend that you look into the topic rather than debunking it from a point of view where you don't really seem to know anything about it, because it's kind of like a flat earther doesn't look into any kind of the science as to how we know that the earth is round, and they just ignore any evidence that goes contrary to their viewpoint.
Eratosthenes.
Pardon?
That Eratosthenes, that debunks flat earth straight away.
Yeah, but only if you look into that evidence. Which, I mean, here's the thing: is you don't look at from what you have.
Are you calling me a flat earther? Please don't.
No, I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you a flat earther. I'm just making a comparison.
You're making a comparison that I don't look into evidence about.
You don't.
Distance and time
because the thing is that all of the debunking that you've given me is just not relevant. It's just because you are basing everything on a simple understanding of physics. and on a simple understanding of how fast life could evolve on other places versus here. Like, your assumptions are all based on what humans have
True.
done, and you're
Actually,
not looking any further than that.
true comment. That is
And
actually a true comment.
you've got no way to say that everything else happens at the same speed as humans do things.
There's another planet out there like Earth in the Goldilocks zone that spins faster than us, so things happen quicker than our planet, and yet they can travel a quadrillion, bazillion, baducalizian miles to see us. Yet we, as a species, we can only get to Mars.
But we're
Mars
talking
is
about
just over there. But
us
you
once
think
again.
the people over there, right over there, can come and see us?
Sure, why not? Literally, why not? You haven't given me any kind of reason as to why that couldn't happen.
Distance, man. It's
not distance. It's not distance.
It is.
It's not distance. Einstein, who came up with the theory of relativity, came up with ideas around wormholes and whatnot as well. He perceived of ways that people could travel faster than the speed of light. The person who you're basing this whole distance thing on came up with workarounds.
Yes, he did.
Because there is always workarounds.
Yes, he did, but he didn't.
He came up with theories on it. And how do we get technology? By theories that then get turned into technology. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know where else to go with this.
Two things I want to say. First thing, your background, once again, is fucking amazing. Is that art?
Yeah, it's a thing that I made out of melting crayons.
It is beautiful, absolutely amazingly beautiful. It really is. But also, oh god, oh shit. Well, my second comment. Apart from the theory of gravity, where people go theory, the theory of black holes, it literally is just a theory. It's just an absolute 100% theory. It's not been proven. Gravity has been proven. Whereas black holes and their theory, it is just a theory.
I mean, like, it is more than just black holes, my dude. Like, see, here's the thing: is that your knowledge on the topic is so limited.
It is. Like, I admit it. I'm going off personal feeling.
It's pointless having a conversation because it's like I'm trying to teach you the basics of the topic, and so it's kind of like if you're debating a flat earther and you're trying to teach them, if you're debating a flat earther and you're trying to teach them the basics of how we know that the Earth is round, it's frustrating because they haven't looked into the science at all, and that's why this is frustrating because you're very knowledgeable in a certain area, and it's great, and it obviously serves your purpose really well for the channel that you run, but it's not.
Well, you give me evidence then of a planet. In fact, find me a planet. Give me the name of a planet. Tell me where it is. Tell me which galaxy it is. Tell me the name of the people that live on there.
You know what? No. That's not how this works. Well, in the same way that it is pointless for you to sit there and find all of these resources and whatnot and get into a flat earther. Honestly, it's a waste of time. Flat earthers are not going to change from being flat earthers because they are flat earthers. That is just what they are. And in the same way that you're a debunker, and there's no point me finding you evidence or finding you all of the different research that has been done, because
dude, you find me some evidence, you give me facts. That's why I'm an atheist. You give me an actual physical fact of God and Jesus and this and that and the shit he did. Noah's Ark. Oh, in fact, actually, Noah's Ark was a bad
I mean,
reference.
that's not what we're discussing at all, by the way. We're not discussing religion.
No. But if you give me evidence of this, evidence of that, evidence of that, then I will believe you. I will convert. But I'm an atheist because there is absolutely, apart from a book of stories created roughly, actually roughly 1800 years ago. The Bible wasn't made until 200 BC by stories from people that are
Do you ever
probably
feel like
forgotten
when you
what was
debate
going on.
flat earthers, do you feel like they're just kind of a wasting time by just bringing up stuff that is irrelevant?
Well, they just make. Well, CC, you mentioned CC earlier. He hasn't got a clue.
I didn't mention
He
CC earlier.
are you,
No, I don't.
oh,
No idea who CC
I
is.
heard you say the word CC. You may have said BC or something, but look, flat earthers just make shit up. I mean, okay, so as
And
we
they
all
just
know, flat earthers
walk
think
on
that
and don't
flat
really
earthers
get to the point.
flat earthers think that the earth is a dome, right? They think the sun circulates on the Capricorn of Cancer.
Yeah. So this is my point, though, right? Is that they just
And then all of a
waffle on about
sudden,
stuff that's not relevant to the topic, and that's kind of what this conversation has been.
it moves into the Capricorn, the circle of Capricorn. So how does it do that? Give me your evidence.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane that they believe that because there is ample evidence to the contrary. Thus, it's insane that they believe that. There is also ample research and whatnot that has been done into the topic I'm talking about, but every single retort that you provide is not discussing the same thing. You're talking about completely different stuff. And so thus I see the conversation, as I've said a few times, as being entirely pointless.
In my mind, it's impossible. Okay. It's impossible that some life form from, again, billions of trillions of gazillions miles away.
Okay, let's do it this one.
Why haven't we done the same? Why haven't we done the same?
Okay, well, see, we discussed this already, and you clearly didn't listen. So once again, there's no point having the conversation. It's in the same way that when you're
have you got any evidence?
you give them all this evidence, and they go,
have
"Yeah,
you
but
got any evidence
the world is actually flat?"
that there are people out there?
I haven't given you evidence to prove. I've given you reasons why. I have given you
evidence,
reasons why you should be able to expand.
No, I'm not going to expand because it's
then you are as closed-minded as a flat earther. You're as closed-minded as a flat earther, my dude. I'm sorry.
I'm not as closed-minded. No way.
You are just as bad as a flat earther.
Because it's beyond the realm
of
capability.
If it falls outside of your wheelhouse, then you're not even happy to look into the topic.
I would love to think.
Okay, approach it. Hold up. You know what? Prove me wrong. We'll chat a week from now. And between now and the week from now, I want you to research the topic, not from a debunking point of view, but to see what possibilities there are out there. And then we'll come back and have a conversation and see where it goes. I'm of the assumption that a week from now, you'll come back from your research and you go, no, there was nothing out there. But if you actually spent a week looking into the topic, properly looking into the topic, not Googling how you can prove that the topic isn't real, but actually looking into the people who are researching into the topic. Richard Dolan, he's a good one. Look into Richard Dolan.
Hang on, slow down. I can't talk as fast as I can't write as fast as you're talking. Right. So you want me to research?
Look into Richard Dolan.
Hang on.
Maybe read one of his books.
Hang on, I've got a fountain pen. So research the possibility of others.
No. I'm gonna give you people to either read their books or watch the YouTube or whatnot. Richard Dolan is one of the first ones.
Right, Richard Dolan. Okay.
3. Alien Scientist on YouTube. you know what? Between the two of them, there's probably enough information. You could spend the entire week spending 24 hours a day either listening to their audiobooks or watching their YouTube stuff, and like you still wouldn't get through a smidgen of the content that they have. So that would probably be enough information to go off and get a kind of a basis for it. I'm not going to say that it's going to change your mind at all. It may well not do anything, but if we want to have a conversation from the same page, then it means at least we'll be discussing stuff from the same sources rather than us discussing completely different things.
Okay. So Richard Dolan and Alien Scientist off YouTube.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is Alien Scientist can be really hard to find because he seems to be blacklisted from the search results. So I'm going to post, in fact, I'll post both of their channel links in the chat there, just because.
Just because you're a good bloke. I like you, Ben. I like you. And
I just saw that I wasn't subscribed to Alien Scientist. I was like wondering why. I thought maybe they'd remove my subscription, but no, it's because I'm on a different YouTube channel. So that's one of them, and the other ones.
And also, thank you for not being a flat earther. I appreciate that.
Mate, I've got some friends that are flat earthers, and if they bring up the topic, I just say, let's talk about something else, because I just cannot be bothered having the conversation with them, because it just goes around in circles rather than going in some
goes around in circles. Goes around in circles. I like that.
Yeah. All right. On the note of that, there, I usually go to bed at about 2 a.m. and it's half an hour past that point.
Yeah.
But I won't end have you got those two links there?
Yeah, I've got both of them. I've subscribed,
actually,
so at least I've got them.
Realized, if you lose them, I will put them in the description for this live stream. So when it comes up, actually, if there's anyone else viewing, I'm also going to put them in the description of the live stream, so that they're there if anyone else wants to have a look as well. So yeah. Anyway, it has actually been phenomenal chatting with you. I enjoy these conversations because it allows me to evaluate my own thoughts and whatnot as well. If you don't have these kinds of conversations and it just mills in your head and you don't get anything out of it. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. You have a good evening, Chuck.
And also, I still maintain you and I in the big CC, we're going to catch up and have a beer.
Absolutely. Indeed. Right. Well, we are 40 kilometers apart in distance, and based on our current technology, it only takes about 40 to 50 minutes to get there. So I'll see you around, Chuck. Catch ya.
See you, buddy. Take care.
Bye.